Western Europe, cold and hungry, faces an economic, political, and human crisis. It is 2.5 years since VE Day, yet the people of France, the people of Italy, and the people of all Western Europe still stand in line for scanty rations. This fall's harvest has been a record low, following the disastrous spring floods and the scorching summer drought. America's official answer to this suffering is the Marshall Plan. But beginning in Hollywood, another answer from the hearts of Americans who want to help directly and personally is expressed in the Friendship Train. Hollywood gives the train a gigantic send-off as Eddie Cantor, Master of Ceremonies, introduces Harry M. Warner, the train's national chairman, and the head of the Citizens National Food Committee, Charles Luckman, under whose sponsorship the train's cross-country trip is being made. Movie stars starting the trip get a farewell from California's Governor Warren, whose swinging lantern signals the train's departure through the main streets of Los Angeles. The gaily decorated train starts off with 8 loaded boxcars donated in Los Angeles. They represent hundreds of tons of food brought to schools, fire and police stations, churches, and civic lodges by tens of thousands of individual American citizens. Hawaii is represented by a gift of 160,000 pounds of sugar. The Friendship Train speeds north through the California countryside on the first leg of its journey. Bakersfield is the train's first stop. Citizens of this one American community have assembled, packed, loaded, and paid for the 80,000 pounds of grain for France and Italy in this freight car, the first of over 160 cars which will be added before the Friendship Train reaches New York. Fresno, next on the itinerary, which includes scores of cities and towns across the heart of America, contributes raisins. At each stop, the wait is brief, for the mission is urgent. The food is destined to reach America's friends in Europe before Christmas. Behind each pound of American friendship aboard the train are scenes like this. In Merced, like hundreds of his fellow citizens, 73-year-old Frank Tessier donates a sack of flour from his small grocery to the waiting railroad car. By the time the Friendship Train arrives, Merced's car is full, ready to be coupled onto the ever-lengthening train. And so across America, this is Stockton. To avoid waste of time, shipping space, and money, only specified foods such as wheat, flour, sugar, and condensed milk are requested, and in bulk quantities. Department of Agriculture surveys show these to be the most needed. But in each community, every citizen gets a chance to make his own contribution as the train from the heart of America, with the heart of America, hurries toward friends in Europe.
The Friendship Food Train rolls eastward over the Great Divide. In Reno, Nevada, as all along its route, the people of America bid it Godspeed. With gifts of food and money adding to the mighty total, the train pulls out for Ogden, Utah. Drew Pearson, the train's originator, is aboard as it crosses the Great Salt Lake. In Ogden, school is out to let children share the community's pride in the train they help to fill. The stop is brief, for this is top priority freight, traveling over cleared tracks on a split-second schedule. At Green River, Wyoming, the cold doesn't cut the welcoming crowd, and the train picks up another carload of food before driving on to Rawlins. Rawlins' expression of friendship is more than merriment. They donate a car of evaporated milk And a train that started in Los Angeles with 8 cars heads toward Laramie with 39. Here a 40th joins as America's friendship speeds toward Western Europe.
North Platte and Kearney add 6 cars of wheat and 1 of beans for the hungry of Western Europe. Little G.G. Atkinson gives $1 in pennies for each of his 4 years. The diesel engine slows down as she enters Grand Island. Here, as throughout the Midwest, the donors are as varied as the community's heart is large. Prospector Bill Plummer makes his contribution, 2 sacks of wheat, to Drew Pearson in person. Sioux Chief Ed White Buffalo gets his offering in just before the train leaves for Fremont and Omaha. France's Ambassador Bonnet expresses his country's gratitude for the generosity which has swelled an original 8-car train to 57 before it crosses the Missouri and arrives at Council Bluffs, Iowa. Here, 5 more cars of grain are added. As the train sweeps eastward, reaping a harvest of friendship from the peoples of scores of Midwestern communities like Ames and Boone, Cedar Rapids and Clinton, air freight service begins from Los Angeles, the train starting point. Additional food gifts, which were too late to catch the train, are flying east as the train itself, now 82 cars long, enters Chicago. In Chicago, Governor Dwight Green and industrialist Henry Kaiser put their shoulders to the friendship load. Chicago's contribution already adds up to the staggering total of 21 freight cars of spaghetti, milk, flour, and other essential foods. Before leaving Chicago on its final leg eastward, the train must be split into 2 sections. For through the Midwest, the friendship train has been swelled by the generous hearts of free people proud to rush Europe this food for freedom.
Two eloquent symbols of America's character meet in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. One is the Freedom Train, carrying to the people at home the story of America's heritage. The other is the Friendship Food Train, carrying to the people of Western Europe a token of the present-day American spirit. Harrisburg's generosity, typical of communities across the country, adds 9 cars to the train before it sends it speeding into Philadelphia. In the shadow of Independence Hall, the train drops 22 cars of wheat to be milled into flour before being sent to the port. But Philadelphians add 22 new carloads of their own. In New York, anxiously awaiting the train, citizens repeat scenes which took place all over the nation prior to the train's arrival. To police stations and schools, they bring their gifts for friends abroad. New Yorkers are preparing to welcome not only the train arriving from Philadelphia, a second section is racing through the night in upstate New York. Throughout the night, the outpouring of gifts continues. Buffalo and Western New York add 10 cars. Albany, 8 more. As the Friendship Train hurries down the Hudson River and heads into New York yards, an unparalleled story of spontaneous international friendship is drawing towards its climax. New York accords an appropriate welcome. 100,000 line the streets of Lower Manhattan to cheer the end of the 3,000-mile transcontinental mission. 8 trucks loaded with the 8 principal commodities aboard the train symbolize New York's own gift of nearly 40 boxcars. At City Hall, thousands of school children, who everywhere played so large a part in the train's success, cheer the announcement that the train, which left Los Angeles with 8 food cars, has grown to over 270. And Mayor O'Dwyer still receives last-minute gifts. The final American ceremonies take place in New York Harbor. 2 railroad barges carrying 33 representative cars from the train make a token trip around the Statue of Liberty. The transcontinental journey of America's gift of freedom for Europe ends fittingly below the symbol that means liberty to all the world.
Philadelphia, the last chapter begins in the stirring story of the Friendship Train, as the freighter American Leader is rechristened the Friendship. Originator of the Friendship Train idea, Drew Pearson, sees the first shipment of food from the train sail for Europe. Donated by Americans across the nation, this precious cargo will reach France in time for Christmas. At New York, the Friendship takes on more food, increasing its cargo to 8 million pounds. It is the first of 4 freighters needed to carry more than 500 carloads of foodstuffs to both France and Italy. The growth of the Friendship Train in its journey from Los Angeles to the East Coast was far beyond expectations and almost beyond belief. In the words of the drive's national chairman, Harry M. Warner, no other humanitarian appeal in history ever had such a quick and tremendous response. At Le Havre, the Friendship brings to France the first 4,000 tons of food collected for the people of Western Europe on the unprecedented tour by the Friendship Train across the heart of America. French stevedores donate their services to get the ship unloaded in record time. The food is loaded into 10 trains and will be distributed under the supervision of American agencies in 10 needy regions of France.